Hello and welcome to my overheads calculation spreadsheet. This is a basic spreadsheet I've put together so that we can accurately come up with the costs of overheads for the company or business for a year and use this amount in tenders going forward. So we'll have at the end of this, we'll have a percentage value that can be applied to our costs and future tenders. So as a quick run through the spreadsheet, we have our overhead summary on our first page here, which will show the summary of all the different costs and the breakdown of each. And then will give us a percentage result in this green cell below. So for inputting the data, we've got all these tabs along the bottom here: office staff, office yard cost, plant and equipment, insurances, etc. And these will be also displayed here with the cost when we put it in. Here we have a pie chart. Obviously nothing shown here yet as there's no data for it, but that will populate later on. So to run through a quick example of this and just put in some data, we'll just go through here: admin or office staff 1, office staff 2, office staff 3. So on these sheets, these yellow cells can be edited here, the shaded cells. Everything else is locked. Here we can enter in either the hours, days, weeks, months, years, or a lump sum amount. So with these office staff, we'll say a 40-hour week, 40 hours, 52 weeks. The unit is going to be hours, and for the purpose of this, we'll just say $40. Okay, so that's our office staff. With this also, these headings can be edited, and that will reflect back on this same page. So office staff there, if I was to just change that to office, it's shown here as just office. We'll put it back to office staff. That can be done on all these tabs as we go through, and there's also 2 blank tabs at the very end if there's other categories that aren't covered in what I have here. So we have office staff, office yard cost. So this could be the cost of your yard or office rental. So we'll say office rental. This is likely a weekly or monthly cost. So we'll say weekly, and unit is weeks. We'll say 2,000 a week. And we're also going to have some utilities costs for this as well. So we'll say electricity, internet, phones, water. So these are probably going to be monthly or quarterly costs. We'll just say monthly. Unit is going to be months. And we're just going to say $400 a month for these. So that's office yard rent. Plant and equipment, based on an office here, you might have a printer cost. So a monthly cost of say $300. You may have some work vehicles. Vehicle 1. So we'll put these in as an annual cost, which would include insurance and all other maintenance costs of that vehicle. So 20,000 will allow for that. Insurances, so we'll say public liability, workers' comp, plant and equipment, and these will be yearly. So we'll say 1 year. And just to keep it simple, we'll say 10,000 per year. Okay, insurances, subcontractors. I'm going to say we've got a consultant, which costs us approximately 50,000 per year. Consumables, this may be office consumables. say a weekly allowance of $300. And then we've got these other empty tabs here. If you've got any other categories you'd like to break it down further, we can put it into these ones, but I'll leave it blank for this. So if we go back to our overhead summary, you'll see that these figures have populated here and also now shown on the pie chart. So the purpose of the pie chart is just a visual representation of the breakdown of these costs, and it's a useful tool if we want to kind of reduce this overheads cost. We can see the areas where the biggest impact can be made. So here we have office staff makes up almost 50% of our costs, whereas some of these smaller items are quite minor. Okay, so this is our total overhead cost for the year. And to work out the overheads percentage, we also need to consider the total project value for the year. So we can look at this either as forecasting for the year going forward, or we can look at it as the year just passed to come up with this percentage value. So if we just say total project value for the year, we'll say 15 million. That's our total project value. And here we need to look at the percentage allowance for profit. So it's important that we don't work out the percentage overheads cost against this figure, because that won't give us a true amount. We need to first take profit from this figure and calculate the overheads as a percentage of our operating costs. So total profit amount, we'll say 15% profit, and now we have our net project value for the year, which is this amount. So below we should now have our results. So here we have it in green, just under 4%. So the calculation there is total overheads percentage equals total cost for overheads for 1 year, which is this amount, divided by the net project value, which is this amount, gives us 4%, 3.98%. So that figure can be used in tenders going forward on top of our cost, so that we're ensuring that our overheads costs are covered. It's important that we don't group overheads and profit together because it's not an accurate way of building up a tender. We should look at these separately. There should be no reason we can't accurately come up with this percentage here, and then profit is something that can be adjusted on a case-by-case basis depending on project, but this needs to be considered across all projects regardless. That covers everything we have here today. If there's any questions, just let me know. Thanks.